Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and today we've got a lot to talk about, don't we? All right. I know everybody's pretty much talking about it now, and it's Russia invasion on the Ukraine, and it got real serious. Today marks a day in history. This is something that our kids would tell our grandkids, their great grandkids about, something that they would remember, something that they're going to teach us in the history books. And today, I think, is even though it's been building for a while, today is kind of a first because today is the day they invaded. Today is the day it got real. It's making a lot of people very, very nervous. I want to encourage everyone to hit that like button and share out this video. It helps me a whole lot. Love your comments. And definitely subscribe if you feel that you are so inclined to do. Hello, Yeshua's coming. James Motley. Good to see you two here. Thank you. Good to see everyone is here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I absolutely love that. Yeshua's coming says China will invade Taiwan and then America will be attacked and invaded. I think you're absolutely right about that. Hello, Susie Pentland. So good to see you. Everybody's starting to come in now, which is very, very good. Everybody is talking about this, aren't we? Okay, so there was some people were thinking that this was Gomer, but the territory of Ukraine, especially because they're looking for this in Bible prophecy. But when I was looking at the maps that they have on Google, most of them said that Gomer was south of the Black Sea, not north. Some of them said that Gomer was north, where Ukraine is, but a lot of them said that Gomer was actually Turkey. So I'm kind of on the iffy end on whether or not that is the land. But still, that doesn't mean that what's happening isn't part of the process of prophecy, right? As we'll see, because the title of this is, Are They Coming Here Next? Because a lot of us do feel that the Ukraine invasion, that's just them getting warmed up. They haven't been doing all of these exercises all these years for absolutely nothing. Okay. So I do think, especially with the way that we handle this situation, yeah, they'll absolutely come here next. And prophecy has taught us that America's going down. Everybody knows it's going to be Russia that does it. Even Russia knows, just like Nebuchadnezzar knew he was going to take Jerusalem and the king of that area, right? They know the prophecies too. But there's a whole lot more to it. They'll go for Israel also, which they've been kind of hanging around Israel's border also. Alrighty. What I wanted to point out, first of all, especially when it comes to what is in prophecy, a lot of people keep saying that trigger word. Sorry, I got cat hair. Really, Gravy? Can you just stop? Sorry. Kitties are starting to get a little bit active. They got up from their nap. Oh yes, the difference here in prophecy is they say a lot about World War III, but in prophecy, Russia is connected to two different major events for our times. Okay, one is the Gog-Magog war that happens in the last days, and two, the second one is they're part of that beast thing going on, that whole club going on with all the different nations that are holding each other up in the Middle East during World War III. They're kind of the foundation of it, but they're involved in both. But this whole Russian invasion thing going on that's beginning, it looks like it's the beginning. That's more towards the last days Gog and Magog war. And I needed to point that out. Thank you so much, Paula Hoskins. God bless you. That is so awesome. It means so much to me. Thank you. God does have this. He has a plan, and he talked about this a couple thousand years ahead of time, at least, letting us know that he came before us. He saw, he has his sights. Okay. And since a lot of this these days involves Israel, he's watching very closely. This is a major spiritual war that is manifesting itself step by step here on planet Earth, where we just happen to be. Okay, we are the people the Bible was talking about. Our planet has become overcome with darkness. All right. and bad things begin to happen. Peace goes away. Let's go ahead and check the chat really quick. Hello, Calico 45. Peter Joe got to go. Hello, Paula Hoskins. Hello, Sunshine. Earl Scott, good to see you. Tyrone, love your neighbor. Good to see everybody. Sandy, Janet, B. Ran. All right, I've said hello to everybody. I really do appreciate everything that y'all do for me. Thank you very, very much. Christina, fortunately, there's nothing we can do to stop it, but we can prepare for it. Okay, we can prepare. And a lot of us have been doing this for the last few years. God's been telling a lot of us, prepare, prepare, prepare. Things are coming. Things aren't going to keep going on the way that they have been so far. Thank you, Janet Alvarez. God bless you also. You guys are so awesome. I really do love you guys. We won't be able to help Israel. There's nothing we're going to be able to do. We're going to be dead in the water. Broken motor car still there, still there. Yeah, that's true, but God will protect Israel. Okay? All right. Yes, good. Good. We have to stay ready. Okay, so the Bible teaches us, what it does so that we're not taken off guard. Being blindsided is a shock factor. You don't want to be in that because it slows your reaction time. Okay, you go through this phase of not wanting to believe what you're seeing. Yep. Okay. All right. So now that we've gotten through the difference there and the prophecies that we're talking about, we'll go with what local news is calling here in the United States. They're calling Russia's action a breach of peace. They repeated that a few times. It is a breach of peace. And really, it's true that it's a physical breach of peace, but things haven't been peaceful in quite a while. You've got to admit that, especially between the United States, Russia, and China. Since, oh gosh, well, I know at least Trump was always about China. The Hillary administration was all about Russia. And so we kind of hear this constant complaining about those two countries year after year. Okay. And, hacking and all kinds of stuff. All right. So they also think, this local news, that they think that he wants to rebuild the Soviet Union, which may be true, but the whole of what I'm seeing, what I think is coming, especially because of what the Bible teaches, I think he's going much bigger. I think that United States is going to have to go down in order for him to continue to achieve his goals. All right. And we know that he's going to get an evil thought in his head and go for Israel. And he has been behind the scenes of all of this, pushing Israel to make peace with the Palestinians and go for this two-state solution or confederation. They're pushing for it. They are part of this. Okay. So it looks to me like they're wanting to become the supreme power, the supreme world power, which they will achieve. Prophecy says it. It will be, temporary, but it'll be long enough for us to have a bottleneck in population. All right. So what we're seeing is the beginning phases. We're going to look back in history and we're going to see how all of this led up, disasters. What does that show say? Disasters don't just happen. It's due to a chain of events. We can see the chain of events. So I have a couple of Ukrainian friends that run a store here in my area. And I see them a couple times a week. I'll go in there and they're just the sweetest people. The mother, son, friend of the family, they all work there. And I can't tell you, they are just wonderful. So I went in a few nights ago and I asked one of them. And she said, well, she was happy that Russia was in there because there had been war in the Ukraine for 8 years and that she felt like this would be good to stop that war. But I went in today and there was another Ukrainian lady and I asked her, I said, how do you feel? And she says, I've been crying all day long. My mother and father are on the west side of Ukraine. I don't know how deep this is going to go. I don't know how long this is going to be. And they're talking about multiple phases. Russia has multiple phases in store for the Ukraine. All right. So I think that to try to pin how Ukraine feels as a whole would be kind of a mistake. That there are mixed feelings among the Ukrainians there too. They're fleeing. And it resembles to me a lot like when we have a hurricane and they tell us to evacuate and all the roads get locked up. People run out of gas on the road. They don't have enough of supplies or whatever it is they need. And they end up in the worst position. And with, in this case, just like with a hurricane, it was little too late. That's where preparation comes in. So they didn't have money, actual cash money put aside. But I tell you what, the way things are going, people have been talking bank run for a minute, like all week long. And I keep saying, you don't want to take all your money out. That could be bad for everybody, but you do at least want to just keep what you absolutely have to in there for bills, because you need to have both on hand, cash and credit. You just never know. Okay. And considering the way that Biden has been dealing with our oil, meaning we don't get to produce our oil right now, basically, that it is making the US dollar more and more worthless. People they don't see it. Maybe they do, but that's part of that inflation. That's why people are screaming about gas prices, because those pipelines need to be reopened. Okay. We need to become more energy efficient right now, because relations overseas aren't looking so good. Okay. Gas might become a very rare thing. Okay. Let's check chat real quick. Thank you, Susan Bettinger. God bless you. Thank you. Wow, what an amazing day. Thank you guys so much. Hello, Christy and Black Apple. Oh my gosh, y'all are just blowing me away today. Y'all are so amazing. Let's read through some of this. Hello, Off Grid with Paul. Hello, Paul and Adrian. Oh, Dan Vincent's here too. That's wonderful. Hello, Dan. Okay. They just reported 9 Chinese jets have been seen. Where were they seen, in Ukraine or here in America? Did y'all see Putin sent in ethnic Chechen soldiers for cleanup? That's terrible for the people. I did not see that. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Sunshine. Tammy, it's very good to see you. Maybe it's a distraction, Tammy says. A lot of people do think that. I don't think it's a distraction. I think it's a warm-up, because Trump was saying that Putin is an amazing strategist. In The View, they took the opportunity to cut him down, but they missed the big point. Putin is an amazing strategist, and it's obvious he planned this thing with Ukraine for a minute now. Think about all the drills, okay? Think about all the hacking they've done and on all our major systems. Think about all the drills they did around. Come on, they have been planning for our invasion too. That is on the table. And even Stephen Ben-Danoon said it last night, that it is something that is on the table, actually on the table. So, I would take it more as a warm-up, to be honest. Black Apple says, East to start war while hiding underground, sipping wine. Right? No kidding. Listen, this article, I was looking up some articles because I was hearing that these officials are running off to bunkers. And it says here, unconfirmed reports that White House is being evacuated to bunkers in Colorado. Okay. And at the same time, the trucker convoy is supposed to be headed to Washington, D.C. to protest. Maybe they should start protesting that pipeline while they're at it and get that gas opened up, because I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay. And yes, China, it's almost a certainty that China's going to go for Taiwan, right? No doubt about it. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about government officials going to bunkers. But people, unless we made those bunkers ourselves, we don't have bunkers. If we don't have our go bags, you think our government's going to help us? Look what they did in Afghanistan. You're on your own. You are solo, on your own. So yeah, they're going for Taiwan, flying over to, yeah, they're on a mission. They are on a mission. They have had this planned out for a minute. This is serious. Clarissa says, welcome, Clarissa. China said they'd invade Taiwan if Russia invades Ukraine. Oh, so yeah. Okay. Keep your eyes on Syria. China gonna something from Canada, the West Coast, and 800,000 military so-called students in college. Well, I don't think World War III has started again. I think it's the Gog-Magog war of the last days. I think that's what we're looking at, not World War III just yet. The Gog-Magog war that involves Russia, it's pretty much talking about exactly what's happening here. And so the invasion of Israel, that's a last days prophecy too. Ancient Nephilim warlords. Well, it says in Revelation 12 that the angels were thrown down with Satan, right, to the earth, and they couldn't get back in heaven anymore. That was the last days. That was a prophecy for this whole end times deal, right? Which means the fallen angels are back, and their signature style is messing with DNA. That's like their whole thing. Beast and human. That's historically a fact. That's their MO. So you know that yeah, you can just read their signature. They're in high places. Says we have wickedness in high places. You better believe we do. Okay. All right. All right. So at the same time, Ukraine is they weren't just having problems getting money out, and they're having problems because it looks like their banks have been hacked. And it's not just a little bit of talk. It isn't just something I reported on last Friday. It's been ongoing all week. Bank runs are being talked about more and more among people, among my friends asking me, and among people on the internet. It's like we're not sure what to do. And I think the concession it's just to definitely know that at some point, yeah, we can lose it. But at the same time, with money, the way that the US dollar is in the petrol oil thing is happening, that the dollar can become worthless anytime too now. So what it's going to come down to is survival skills. Okay. We're going back to cowboys and Indian days, the old West. We are going to have to know how to make a fire and make a little cottage out of some logs and seal it with some mud clay and whatnot. You're gonna have to figure out which mushrooms are okay and which ones aren't. All right, that's really what it's going to end up. You're going to have to at least be able to trade. You're going to have to be able to bug in. You're going to have to be ready to bug out suddenly. You're going to have both options ready, and we're going to have to be ready to fight. Okay, Wolverines. Okay, if you haven't seen Red Dawn, either version, well, the second version talks about it being Korea or something, but it's really always been about Russia invading the United States. It's something that people have known is going to happen for decades, for real. So that's why the movie was made. All right, but so with the bank runs being in the mine, you don't want to wait until the last minute. Okay. Even if it's like something to bargain with, you may not drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes, but I tell you what, those are both great bargaining chips. Even in the movies, when it's post-apocalyptic times in the movies, somebody can get something for just one cigarette, just one. Okay. And it's a valuable thing. So think about that. All right. Have something to trade with. So right now, Putin is warning the United States against the worst possible case scenario for the U.S. that will happen. Like, it's biblical the way he's talking about it. Like, it'll be like never before, something you've never experienced before. It sounds like that thing in the Bible where it says, like, it never was or ever will be again kind of talk. And you know what that is. I mean, the closest we've ever really had on U.S. soil to war is Pearl Harbor, which got us into World War II. But that is the closest we've gotten. This attack, if this is what they're talking about coming here, is it's not gonna, when they're done with, we won't be in any war. It'll shut us completely down. Okay. We'll be fighting for our lives right here. That's what it's going to boil down to. Okay. So yeah, I can see that more than we've ever seen before or probably ever will again. I mean, That's what he's talking about. And so you imagine, oh gosh, what's Biden going to do? Is Biden going to do it? Is he going to push the button on that bear one more time? This button, this one. Well, Timcast reports today that the U.S. is preparing to attack Russia. Now, I was listening to some kind of address that Biden was given on camera, which is so rare once in a while. He was able to stay, cognitive, it looked like, for a lot of it. But he was talking about cyber attacks and sanctions. And I'm like thinking, okay, Putin has already been sanctioned to death. They're over it, first of all. And that's not even the big deal right now. It's not for them. Now they're going for broke, because you can't just start a war and stop. You see what I'm saying? So if anybody attacks him, it's going to propagate this. And they're saying that Ukraine actually wanted this in some of the news. So really, how far is Biden overstepping the boundary? How far will this go? And that's why we have to be very aware. When Trump said Putin is an amazing strategist, it doesn't matter who said it. What he said was absolutely correct. Do you think that Putin hasn't been planning an attack on us? Do you think that before he entered Ukraine that he didn't know exactly what Biden, and that we have such a weak president? He's been laughing at Biden all year long. Okay, hello, Ted Henshaw. Freedom to turn away from sin is better. That's right. Putin has been respectful to the people. He's definitely tried negotiating, which every time they just keep spitting in his face. Like mushrooms, especially the ones that don't kill me. Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad to hear Paul is feeling better. Yes. I'm an Army combat veteran, and when war comes to America, I'll have to help many people because most people can't help themselves. Yeah. Yep. We're going to have to be like Mel Gibson in the movie The Patriot, God help me hit my mark, help hide me or whatever, just... We're going to be needing some prayer here. I know war is coming, Clarissa says, and despite my chronic health problems and being on government assistance, I've been preparing since 2017 when I had my dream about foreign troops knocking on my door. And I'm telling you, they will knock on people's door. What I saw was around dinner time. They will tell you that they're bringing you to your new home. The last thing you need to do is open that door. The last thing you need to do is go with them. And the bag packed should have been your go bag, and you should be heading out the back door or fighting or something, but don't get in the vehicles with them. You will never be seen again. I did see about that. Yeah, you really are going to have to fight. Russia and China to attack USA with nukes, I think. They don't want to use nukes. They want the land. Well, wasn't it was one of those prophets like Chuck Youngbrandt or Henry Groover or something, that they had said that Russia had already located all of our power plants. They also have that Horizon machine that jams signals, right? And I know I had my vision about doom on the horizon. So we're in a lot of trouble. They're gonna kick some butt if they get over here, and I know they will. Thank you so much for the thumbs up, everybody. I'm so glad that everybody is here. All right. So yes, is Biden going to push that bear's button one more time? You know he is. He can't stand by and not do it. He's got to. He's got the obligations in his head. That's what he thinks. He's got obligations. He has to do this. He has to maybe even save face. But Putin's side of the story, he says that he can't stand by with the tragedies in Ukraine, which goes back to what people have been saying. Even that one Ukraine friend of mine, she said, the war's just been going on for so long. Nothing good has been happening. Putin says he's doing an honorable thing. But I understand also that, it would be like the United States fighting to get Texas or Louisiana back. That's what we consider part of our nation. All right. So I can see that. But Putin isn't just warning the United States. He's warning NATO too. He is that cocksure. Seriously. that he can take all of them, United States and NATO, no problem. That he warned NATO. He's like, I don't care how many troops you try to send in. I don't care what you think you're about to do. You are dead wrong, literally. So he's warning everybody. Hell is about to rain down for real on everyone. We're already seeing what the Air Force is like over Ukraine, the Russian U Force. Yeah, they're taking a plane or a helicopter here and there. And that's a little bit what it will look like here. But dang, they've got a lot more citizens that have died than that. You see, maybe one troop has been captured at 20 citizens that are gone now. That's kind of an uneven handoff, the amount that can be lost. But see, it isn't just NATO and the United States that's worried. It's not just the falling stock markets. No. Britain, the UK is also, they're very worried. They were harping about it, I think, today, about how worried they are, basically, that they could be targets of Russia's wrath next, and that they need to all come together and arrest somebody. And I'm sitting here going, oh, yeah, that sounds like that's going to happen. Okay, that sounds like it's just going to be as effective as Biden's sanctions over time. And there was even this one reporter was like, well, why don't we do it now? And he just didn't answer. Oh, we'll strongly sanction them over time. I'm like, oh, yeah, really? When they've got all the oil and the gas and you've closed down our pipelines, you have zero to bargain with. Yes, God is coming. Jesus is coming. Whole world is going to change more. Ransacking people's homes the night I dreamed about leaving home alone. Dang. See, people, they have dreams. They have visions. And it said that we would. Ordinary people. And it makes it just seem like so easy to disbelieve people because you're like, well, who are you? And it's like, well, it doesn't matter who you think I am or who I think I am. God thought that I needed to see this, It's what God thinks. And his thoughts aren't always like our thoughts. It says that too in the Bible. All right. So Britain's worried. So they're trying to figure out what to do, honestly. So they're looking to get a little froggy with Russia right now, too. Biden is trying to run the wrong country as far as I'm concerned. And because we've got border problems here. But he's going to be concerned with what somebody's doing on the other side of the world when possibly the best option was to let it go and maybe concentrate on our own problems, our own high gas problems and grocery prices, our drug shortages. How about the suicide on the rise and the internal unrest? So much so that we've got truckers heading to DC. Okay, maybe he should have been handling that. But no, he seems to have an easier time trashing other people and getting in everybody's business while ignoring his own people and shutting down businesses, pipelines. Who knows? His attention's on the wrong place. While in the meantime, the FAA has cut off air travel in Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Russia, except for military ops. So if you're planning to travel by plane to, places like, probably Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and such, you might not have a ride. Okay. On top of that, going back to the amazing ability of Putin to strategize, he strategically put his troops around the Chernobyl area, okay, which everybody would be afraid to attack because of, what does it say? Just a lot of radioactive material, dust kind of things would be released into the air, that it's contained to a certain degree. So Russia from there might be able to attack, but other people from around other nations might be they just hands off with that area. That is an incredible genius strategy. Like him, hate him. It's really a smart move. It's a very risky one being in that area, but it is a smart move. Okay. Sanctions are not going to hurt Russia. They're going to hurt the world. Russia is the number one producer of the world's fertilizer. See, another YouTuber. Welcome, Wild Willie. Praying for the unsaved in these areas. They love war. Hello, D. KL. No, this is all they have till the coming. Maybe that's true. Everybody is playing out their roles perfectly, aren't they? Hello, Daryl. Welcome, honey. All righty. Okay. So, what is Biden up to in the news? Well, so far we've seen again that they might be running off to bunkers. Yes, he made this talk, but I don't know where he made the talk from. I don't know what rock he came out from under. The same time, truckers are headed to Washington, D.C. At the same time, the National Guard is now being called to D.C. Okay. And there's an article about that, AOL.com. It came up 23 hours ago, called Trucker Convoy Headed to Washington, D.C. to protest CV mandate rollouts of California. Oh, these truckers rolled out of California. Okay, several hundred people gathered Wednesday morning in the Mojave Desert to send off a group of truckers driving cross country to protest CV-19 mandates. Supporters posed for selfies and gifted homemade cookies and other items to dozens of truck drivers who intend to travel to DC. It's a good thing they packed for them because their funds are about to be, taken from them if they do anything like with Canada. I mean, it sure does take a lot of money to wage war, doesn't it? They'll probably need all the funding they can get their hands on. Okay, just making sure my cat's being good. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, Adrian says, I had a dream last week about soldiers laying all over the ground dressed in olive green uniforms. I saw bright blue chemical trains loaded with bad stuff. Oh, man. Wow. Olive green uniforms. Yeah, those, I saw them in kind of my dream. They were that two color, more like kind of beigey and the olive green together in their uniforms to match like the terrain. Cats will be cats, right? You're right. They're actually giving me space a little bit, but they've been kind of all about here making noise and tumping things over. They're getting neutered on March 2nd, both of my boys. Okay. Getting back on track. I'm sorry, you guys. China owns the UN. Most UN troops are Chinese. Now that is interesting. Welcome, Stuka. Truckers been screwed up. But Trudeau. Oh, man. Okay. Wild Willie. Truckers rolling into Lupton, Arizona tonight. Go truckers. Get what you can. Russia has bunkers there for people. Where's ours? Unless we made our bunkers, we ain't got no bunkers. God is our cover. That's pretty much it. And a lot of people, if they do what we think they're going to do, but in shorter time than later, we're going to lose a lot of lives. Sure enough. And some of it won't just be from them. It'll be people that are turncoats and people that are marauders, robbers, people that are taking advantage of the situation. Okay, so you'll have to watch. And you'll also have to make sure that anybody in your group isn't trackable, because even if you have a pet, it's possible. Those chips, find a whole group through a pet RFID chip. Oh, sunshine. Blue helmets are targets anywhere you see them. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about the blue helmet thing. That's not a good thing. Dream had Amij Media, I hope I said that right, or even close, says my dream had green long tank-like trucks and a tan shell that used a fuse and exploded on impact. I was there, so it happened on the soil. The trucks that I saw picking up people in the night, they were extended cab Humvees. They were black with canopy over it. It was Humvees, but they were longer. They were black. Martial law and suspension of habeas corpus will step by step engulf all kingdoms. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Oh, wow, Clarissa. Mine so far brought home a frog. Hello, another YouTuber. What's a blue helmet? It's the helmet of the UN, isn't it, y'all? And I've heard about this before somewhere in my childhood, to watch out for the ones that have the blue hats, blue something on their heads militarily. Mayit is a ministry. Okay. Honestly, who wants to survive a slow death, radiation, people down? Or it depends on where you are, Calico. If you're close to ground zero, that's bad. You either can move closer to get it over with, or further away if you can, to avoid it. Depending on what your chances are. I've made it up in my mind that if I was, say, stuck in traffic in downtown Houston, there's no way I'm getting out in no 5 to 15 minutes it's going to take for that thing to get here. I might as well just stay there or head in. Oh, not nice. People can't see. Okay, we can keep that one. Okay, be nice. Blue represents their owning of everything under the blue skies. It's weird. Canada main specialty was UN troops. Okay, all righty. Y'all have got a lot of really good information. Okay, now with the talk of our officials running and hiding, even if it's just rumors, that doesn't make people feel very strong about what's going on. We're going to sanction you to death. Rah! Really? Biden says that he sends prayers for the people of Ukraine, and that he's blocking 4 Russian banks to cut off their funding, even though they have all the oil. They want to squeeze access of finances and technology, but Russia is getting their funding through the oil because of pipeline shutdowns here. They already have technology. I mean, Russia isn't. They're a very intelligent country. They were the ones that were competing with the MK Ultra projects with the United States, and I think it was like Russia who had it first. We competed with Russia when it was time to go to the moon. And I know people, talk about whether that happened or not. The point is the rivalry has been there for a while. Okay. So they have technology. They have had technology. They're actually not stupid. They've got revolutionary tools. I mean, look at the Horizon for one thing. That machine is going to be extremely effective for them. Okay, so right now the US looks weak to Russia and thinks it can approach China, meaning America thinks that it can. This is what Biden said today, that he thinks that he can approach China to help with the Russia situation. But China and Russia are locked as allies. And I'm maybe mistaken, but isn't Biden always complaining about China? Wasn't it? Or Russia? It's one of them. But yes, China is expected to take Taiwan next, inspired by what's going on with, Ukraine and Russia. Xi Jinping feels emboldened by this thing that's going on, They're able to see that China's able to see that there isn't much that the United States can do except, I'll sanction you. That right there, if they can't stop Russia, how are they going to stop Russia and China? The combined real estate is huge. It's much, much bigger than the size of the United States. And I'm pretty sure that their fighter pilots don't have pregnancy suits. Okay? I'm sure that their funding isn't trying to be allotted for crack pipes. It's for actual drills and things that'll benefit the country. Okay, so we do. United States looks weak because we are. And that's not going to help with our situation, especially when all he's got to do is, I think he's getting us into a lot of hot water. So, yep, China is expected to take Taiwan next. Dabu 77 reports that Ukraine is warning. This is where I got the report. where I was hearing it. Dabu77, he reported that Ukraine is warning of radioactive dust across Europe. And I don't know if that's because the bombs that are going off now, or if something happens to Chernobyl, that it could happen. All right. And this is where, where a lot of us are saying, okay, we might be looking at some issues here in America, which means, okay, like over there will be lights out situations, money situations, a lot of things where you're going to want to be prepped as much as possible. Okay. So you got to think about that. So again, I have that list of survivor kind of gear, like life straws. I'm telling you, if you don't have water, you're not going to make it. That's the most important thing. They'll paratroop here. Oh, that's, let's just keep the language at a minimum DKL. Okay, sweetie. Okay. Yeah, you're so right, Clarissa. Picture can be worth 1,000 words. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so we are going to have to be prepared for ourselves. We're going to need things. Okay, we're going to need our bug out bags ready to go with those fire starters. We're going to have extra toilet paper, whatever it is. Bug in, bug out, get ready to form those communities, those fighting lines. It's coming. And this is something that isn't just going to be we wake up tomorrow and it's over. This is a situation that's going to be ongoing for a while. So you can be sure that this is going to take over a lot in the news, but beware, because a lot of times when something major is happening in the world, that other things that are just major too can slip under the rug unseen. So be sure that you watch. Yeah, we can allow that comment. Don't take your eyes off of Israel too, because they are pushing Israel to be divided also at the same time. Okay. And it's got a lot that's been building up for it. Okay. I'm not kidding. And we all know, okay, if there's disasters happening in America, that's a perfect time for Russia to come on in, right? Say hi. He likes to chew on my finger and fight me for it, but that's gravy. Yeah, you don't like being on camera? I don't like my finger being chewed on. Anyway, for your loved ones, be prepared. Get as ready as you can. Know that we've been beyond entering times that are dangerous, okay? Time is running shorter and shorter, and I want all of you to be ready, and most of all, accept Jesus Christ. Okay. I know a lot of it can be hard, because you think you've done things that are just so bad. In a lot of cases, that's not true at all. Okay. You'll ask questions. A lot of us have. Why did God let this happen to me? Know that there is peace to be made with God and healing, and that we have to get on the ball with that, with our repentance and forgiveness. Okay. So the most important thing is to come to Jesus. Y'all need Jesus. Okay. Trust me. That's the most important tool in your toolbox. Believe me. All right. All right. So hello, Have Crazy by Brass and Lead. Chris and Alina. Why should gas prices go higher in the U.S.? Alaska has plenty of oil there. That's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about. They've already shut down pipelines. That's just the way they're talking. Everything is going up. Everything. So I'm not an expert on that, but yes, stock markets are crashing. Bank crashes. They're closing. We've been having banks closing quietly for at least a year. It's ramping up right now. So yes, we are heading into a depression. I saw things that were like, okay, like a Mr. Buddy heater. In some places, it's $129, whereas it was like $74 a couple of years ago to buy it. Some of them you can still buy kind of close to that, but it just depends on the website you go to, really. Gas, $3.99 in Oregon. Gas starting to go up. Yes. And you got to imagine that sometimes the gas goes up just because of fears like this. The stress that it's causing the world is causing stock markets to drop. Just the fear and stress of what's going on. And it's causing, in turn, the gas to go up. I've always noticed that if you see the gas prices going up, that the market's not doing that great. When they start going down, you can tell. To me, that's always been, the best stock market indicator of how things are really going. Oh, yep. Somebody planned it. It's been in the plan for a long time. Dang, Los Angeles gas is $6.20. Like, I think it's like my 25-pound bottle of propane has gone up to $30 for one bottle to fill it up. Okay. All right. I want to encourage you to go look at that list in my description box. It's got links for this equipment, things like heaters, things that you're gonna probably at least, like solar light bulbs, things that you might find are helpful if you can get them now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep an eye on this developing situation as it goes. And I love you all so much. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Please share these videos. Thank you for all of the thumbs up. Thank you for everybody that came and everybody that gave. That was like totally amazing. I love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Bye, y'all.